All right, so you're thinking about moving to Troutman, North Carolina. Well, don't do it until you know these 6 things, because while it is growing rapidly, it's definitely not for everyone. Hey, my name is Austin, and I make videos about what it is like to move to or live in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina. And today we're going to be discussing 6 things you need to know before making the move to Troutman, North Carolina. Now, number 1 on our list is that Troutman is still a very small community. Now, you're either gonna love that or you're gonna hate it. Now, what I mean by a small community is that it is just a slower pace of life in Troutman. You don't have a lot of the hustle and bustle of a city. You're on the border of a major suburban area. It's a little bit more of a rural vibe. And a lot of that is just because of Troutman's slower pace. It feels more of like an old fishing town than it does a newer city like Mooresville or even Statesville just to the north. You're gonna see more mom and pop shop restaurants. You're not really gonna see a lot of chain restaurants at all. You're not really even gonna see any big box stores either in Troutman. Now, with Troutman being quiet, it is fantastic if what you're looking for is a slower pace. If you're looking for a quiet and peaceful town, Troutman is gonna give you that. However, if you are looking for any of that nightlife, or if you're looking for convenience in terms of not having to drive so far to go to a really nice restaurant, or to go down to Target, or to a Walmart or Costco, you're gonna be a little bit further out of the way in Troutman, North Carolina. All right, let's get into number 2, and that is going to be Troutman is growing rapidly. Now, what I mean by that is that there are just a lot of people moving to Troutman from inside North Carolina and from out of state as well. We see a lot of people moving down here from the Northeast, and we see a lot of people moving down here from South Carolina and from Florida as well, okay? So Troutman is one of those hotspots where we are seeing a lot of growth. We see a lot of new construction communities here as well in Troutman, a lot of different builders. It really has just been a rapid growth. We're also seeing new developments for commercial as well. A Tractor Supply just opened up in town. Next to that Tractor Supply, we're seeing a lot of new builds being built. We do have a Lowe's. There really isn't a lot of commercial property in Troutman, but we are seeing a little bit of development closer to I-77. Now, with a lot of this new construction, with all these people moving to Troutman, it is creating a little bit more of a traffic problem, especially in that little downtown area. Now, Troutman is not big. Again, it's just a 1-lane road that goes right through the center of town. And during rush hour, it can get pretty backed up on those roads. Now, mainly that is just because that is the main road through Troutman. There is I-77 just to the east that will run past Troutman, but if you are living inside of Troutman, you are gonna find yourself in some rush hour traffic. And it's usually only about an hour in the morning. And when I say rush hour traffic, instead of getting through Troutman in 2 minutes, it might take you 10 minutes to get through. And that may not be a big deal for a lot of you. Right? I like Troutman a lot. It's quieter, it feels more connected to the outdoors than some of our neighboring towns. So for me, although we have new construction, which you're seeing a lot, it's still a very quiet town. It's still smaller than its neighboring towns of Statesville and Mooresville. All right, our next point is going to be that Troutman still offers a little bit of a better affordability in comparison to its other neighboring towns that also share space with Lake Norman. So Troutman is further outside of our major hub, which is Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's still also close to Hickory to the west and Winston to the northeast. Now, the nice thing with Troutman is that it's kind of in the middle of all 3 of those, but it is further away from all 3 of those as well. Now, a lot of our new construction in Troutman is typically in the $350,000 to about $450,000 range. And what you're getting with that, you're usually gonna have around a 1,700 to 2,500, all the way up to 4,000 square feet. Now, of course, the closer you do get to Lake Norman, you are gonna see a premium on those homes. There are lakefront homes in Lake Norman, and a lot of them are gorgeous, but you're typically looking at well over $1 million for any home that has direct access to the lake. Real quick, if it's your first time checking out the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe, as we are dropping 2 videos per week every week about what it is like to move to or live in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina. And as much as I love making these videos, I am a licensed broker in the state of North Carolina. So I'd love to help you out with any of those real estate needs that you may have. The number that's popping up below, I am going to be the person that answers those phone calls, text messages, and emails. So if there's anything I could do, I'd love to help. But with that being said, let's get back into the video. All right, number 4 is going to be limited options just as far as dining goes, okay? Now, I will add in grocery stores as well. There is a Food Lion in Troutman, but if you're looking for something like going down to Target or going to Walmart, you're gonna have to travel outside of Troutman. Now, if you're also looking for things like Costco or Sam's Club, we do have both of those in the neighboring town just south in Mooresville. So it's only about a 15 to 20 minute drive to get to those areas, depending on what part of Troutman you are in. All right, now let's talk restaurants in Troutman. Now you're not gonna see any real big chain restaurants. All right, now I wouldn't classify Dunkin' as a chain restaurant. It's more of a coffee shop. There is a Dunkin' in town, and you do have a McDonald's as well. But other than that, you're gonna see places like Bavarian Kitchen, which is fantastic German food. We do have Kaijo's, which is pretty good for Asian cuisine. And we even have burritos and ribs. Shout out to them. They have fantastic food and their ribs are phenomenal. They're like, you just pull the bone out and fantastic. You can get salsas on them. You can get barbecue sauce on them. And, I know for a Mexican place, burritos and ribs is fantastic. Moving on, we also have a fantastic coffee place, which funny enough is just called Your Coffee Place. And it's a great place to go, especially on the weekends, grab a coffee, read a book. I know they hold book clubs there. They do a lot of different events as well down there. I've seen car shows there. I've seen a small farmer's market there every once in a while as well. So Your Coffee Place is fantastic. I like it a lot. But other than that, there really isn't just a lot of options in Troutman. All right, if you're looking for more dining options, you're best going either up into Statesville. They have a few options as well, but anything else, you're better off just going down into Mooresville or even further south down towards like Huntersville, or just making the trek all the way down into Charlotte. All right, next let's just talk about where Troutman really is on the map and how it can pose a problem for you if you're a commuter, especially down into Charlotte. Now, Troutman is on the north side of Lake Norman, all right? And it is west of I-77. Now, typically going down into Charlotte, the commute can get pretty bad, and it can get pretty bad pretty quickly. Usually around Mooresville is when we start seeing the buildup of traffic heading south in the morning, and usually around the upper end of Mooresville, sometimes even up into Troutman, we do see traffic on I-77 for the evening rush hour. Now, something that does help with that is that I-77 starting in Mooresville does have a toll lane, and that toll lane runs all the way down into Charlotte. Now that's an express lane and it can get pretty pricey. And I'm talking like $20 each way, right? You're only going about 20 miles and it can get pretty pricey when you are taking those toll roads. However, taking the toll road on a busy Monday morning, for instance, from Troutman, you are looking at maybe a 40-minute commute, maybe 45 minutes, depending, with the toll road. Now, if you are not taking the toll road, going down into Charlotte on a bad day, it's taking you an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes to go from when the traffic starts building up in Mooresville all the way down into the center of Charlotte without taking that toll road. All right, now Troutman is still situated nicely. It is just east of Hickory. It's only gonna take you about 30-35 minutes to get into Hickory, and there really isn't any rush hour traffic. And then going northeast up into Winston, you're probably looking at about 45-minute drive, but you're not really gonna see a lot of rush hour there as well. All right, so mainly the big hub down here is Charlotte. It's one of the biggest cities in the United States and the biggest city in North Carolina. And just like a lot of other people, the commute times can make or break a place to live, all right? So if you're a remote worker or you have fantastic employment away from Charlotte, or again, if that commute time just doesn't bother you, or you don't mind taking the toll roads, then Troutman is going to be a fantastic place for you. All right, lastly, let's just talk about lake access and really just community involvement as well. I'll start off by saying that Troutman is on Lake Norman. It is on the north side of Lake Norman, and it has fantastic access to the lake. If you buy a home on the lake, you have great access that way. But Troutman also has access to Lake Norman State Park. Now, Lake Norman State Park, in my opinion, is a fantastic place to go on the weekends. If you're planning on going out and going hiking, they have over 38 miles of trails, and a lot of them are designated as walking only. You're also going to see a lot of mountain biking out there as well. You're going to see a ton of shoreline access and just trails that are winding in through these trees out into the lake as well. Now, on top of that, Lake Norman State Park also has access to a beach, right? So they have a little swimming area on the north side of the lake for if you want to go swimming, if you want to bring out the kids. And they also have, just nearby, they have some fishing areas. They have designated fishing piers. And if you're willing to make a walk through some of these trails, you can just find a spot right along the water's edge and drop down a chair and go fishing as well. Now, we do see a lot of people do that. We see a lot of people in Lake Norman go and kayak, they go boating, jet skiing. Lake Norman State Park has their own boat launch as well and a ton of parking. All right, so starting off with just Lake Norman State Park, it's a fantastic thing to have just in Troutman. You're only gonna have maybe a 5-10 minute commute down into Lake Norman State Park. And if you're on the furthest ends of Troutman, maybe 10 minutes to get to the park. All right, now on top of all that, Troutman also has a fantastic walking trail that just runs right through the center of town. So it's a fantastic place to go for walks. The whole trail is paved, it's well lit. It connects right to the police station as well. And just next to the police station is a little fitness trail, is what they call it. They have some fitness benches there. And that trail runs right through the woods and it connects to the park right behind the police station. They have soccer fields. They have playgrounds for the kids. They have a dog park, which is fenced in for the dogs. Now, they also have pickleball. They have 4 brand new pickleball courts. They have full court basketball. They even have 2 beach volleyball courts. And then they even have baseball and softball fields at this park as well. On top of that, Troutman does have a gym. Now, it is part of the county's rec center. You're gonna see the Iredell County Rec Center. The gym is pretty cheap. Last time I was there, it was about $16 a month. That's a fantastic rate for a full gym. The gym also has indoor basketball. They have indoor pickleball leagues. They have an outdoor pool, which is separate from the membership. But during the summer, that place can get pretty busy just because, it gets pretty hot down here in the summer. Troutman has a lot of fantastic amenities within its own town as well, as far as outdoor availability and access. All right, so that's gonna be the real Troutman. It is still very peaceful here. It's still quiet. It's still affordable. You still have fantastic access to outdoor amenities. And if you can't handle all of the things we just mentioned, then maybe Troutman might not be for you, and that's okay. There are a ton of different options around Lake Norman in general, and each of these towns is a completely different vibe, and you're gonna find a place here that you love. So again, as much as I love making these videos, I am a licensed real estate broker in the state of North Carolina. I'd love to help you out with any of those real estate needs that you may have. So that number popping up below, I am the person that is going to answer those phone calls, text messages, and emails. But with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one.